Good screaming creepies. So I finally was able to sit down and watch Scream 5, aka Scream 2022. And let me tell you, I really enjoyed this film. There isn't much that I did not like. This will be filled with spoilers. So if you have not seen Scream yet, Scream 5, then do not watch past this point, because I will be going into it deep, real deep. Anyways, I will be getting into it deep and my insights, what I've liked. So please don't watch past here if you haven't seen it yet. Now I am having my morning coffee with you guys as we do this. But before we dive into my insights on this film, I want to welcome all of our new ghouls. Welcome to the mortuary. If you are just stumbling in here, I am ReAnimateHer, the queen of Scream. Some do call me the goddess of gore. And welcome. If you enjoy the dark, macabre, if you love horror movies with a splash of video games, then you are in the right channel. Make sure you give us a little subscribe down there. Slash that friggin' button, or even just stab that subscribe button.
Listen up, creepies. I'm interrupting the show to bring an important message to the Horde. So, relax, sit back, and find a neck to sip on.
Looking for some clean energy that's keto friendly, has zero sugar and organic caffeine to help you get over that 2:30 slump? Grab yourself some gamer subs. It'll do the body good. And of course, yes, I am drinking the official coffee of Coffee Chat of Horrors, Wake the Dead coffee, if you want to get your creature claws on some of this dark, yummy goodness. Down below is the link and all the information you need to know. Now, I fell in love with this film. I fell in love with a character. Oh my God. Yes, I did. I did fall in love with her. And I'm going to get to that later on in our discussion. But I would love to know, did you fall in love with any of the characters in Scream? And which Scream chapters are your most favorite? I'm going to let you know both of those answers a little later in this video. Now, let's watch the trailer to kind of refresh that beautiful memory of yours. Faces in horror, so it was really nice to see. I enjoyed that they brought back a few of the originals, even if some were figments of an imagination or a homage to a memory. I really enjoyed it. I think they did a great job. I loved seeing Neve, Dewey, Gale Weathers. I loved the little bits of homage that they did throughout the franchise. There was one thing that I really loved, and that was the fact that we see Tatum's ashes. That's Dewey's sister who died in the original Scream. We actually get to see her ashes. This is something that the franchise failed to do throughout the franchise. It's like Tatum disappeared, but Dewey stayed. So I'm really glad to see that in there. I'm super glad to see that in there. And I think the fans are as well. I don't know about you, but I was really happy with it. I also really loved the rules when it came to Dewey. And I will definitely tell you, he had it on point. There was also so many iconic scenes that they used throughout the film, and that was an amazing touch. I was able to pick out all the horror scenes from the amazing films before they were even mentioned, especially the scene with Wes Hicks in the shower. That scene where they pan and you see the shower, Wes isn't quite in the shower just yet, but it pans and you see the shower. I said to Heavy, I looked at him and I said, psycho vibes all friggin' day.
And boom, guess what? It was Psycho. Iconic scene in the shower. If you haven't seen Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 Psycho, you really need to go and see it. Another thing that I really, really loved was the names, the dropping of the names. So awesome. The fact that when they went to Dewey's house and they knock on the door and he lets them in, he sits there and he tells them 3 rules. And these rules are so friggin' true throughout the franchise. Rule number 1, never trust the love interest. No, never trust the love interest. Seriously, they're always the first one. Killer's motive is always connected to the past. You bet your sweet ass. It always is connected to the past, and it always goes back to the original. Always. Then number 3 was always check the friends of the victims, because this is where we usually find the killer. Now, we all know going into this, there was going to be 2 killers. There's always, right? Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes. I love the fact how they were asking, how do we survive a Ghostface attack? And, you know, looking at Dewey, he has been through the ropes in this franchise. Stabbed, thrown out from windows. Like, he's been through it, right? I fucking loved it. The movie was somewhat predictable for the most part for myself, but every single one of the Scream chapters has been, especially the first one. I heard some complaints from people that, the film was too predictable, where they knew who the killer was, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, Scream 1, for me, was pretty much predictable. Like, I was able to pick out who the 2 killers were right off the bat. And I really loved what Scream did. And yes, it's a meta horror. We also get to hear a new term called elevated horror. That's neither here nor there. I will not speak about that. Anyways, yeah, it was kind of predictable, but Scream has always been predictable for me. So that wasn't a downer for me at all in this film. I was super gutted because I knew Dewey was gonna die. I just knew it. I even said it to Heavy. I looked at him and I was like, David Arquette's gonna die. They're going to kill off Dewey. I just know they're going to kill off Dewey. And then we get to the one scene where we think it's gonna happen right then and there, and it doesn't. But then in the hospital, he had an epic kill. The fact that you see his inside just like, awesome. And the fact that that little bitch did it, the little bitch, you know who I'm talking about, Amber. What? The way she fucking wrecked his ass. I mean, I'm not saying I'm glad Dewey is dead. What I'm saying is that little bitch got it, man. Like, she, right? But there was a scene that brought tears to my eyes, and that is the scene with Gail Weathers. Once they find Dewey's body, they're at the hospital. Gail pulls up in the car. You know what? I'm just going to show you that clip. This brought tears to my friggin' eyes. Let's get it. This scene here, like, oh my Lord, she killed it. No pun intended. I felt the feels real hard right here. Dewey dying. I seen this, goosebumps poured all over my body. Seriously, I seen this. I instantly felt sadness and the pain in this character. She literally brought tears to my eyes. I didn't cry, but she brought tears to my eyes. Courtney Cox, well done. Well friggin' done. I will say that because I felt it. I felt that pain. I felt that loss. And that's huge in this franchise. Really huge in this franchise. And she did a really good job at grabbing my emotion for that. She really did. I want to know, did this scene grab you as well? Because this scene just right out and just grabbed me. Goosebumps, tears are welling. I felt it. Maybe I'm just a little emotional. I don't know. Now, Where was I? Oh, that scene just still gets me. Now, I really love seeing Jack Quaid. He was the character who played Richie. And the minute I seen him come out, he already piqued my interest. And I was like, And when he was like, I have to come with you. I'm coming with you. Right there, my spidey sense tingled in and was like, yeah, this bitch is part of it. How is he part of it? I'm not sure yet, but this bitch is part of it. And I'm like, don't trust him. Now, his character picked it out right away as killer. Now, I picked out Mickey Madison. She played the character Amber. And I picked her out as the second killer when they were all in the hospital. And she's meeting Sam, Tara Carpenter's sister. You can just see in the body language and her look at her sister. Yes, it was also disdain for the fact of how her sister up and left her little sister. But there was something more there. There was something more. And that tweaked it for me, that the fact that she was the killer. Now, I do have to say, again, I love the fact that they used Wes, his name, to pay super homage to the man, to one of the horror masters. Then they used Carpenter. That was fucking amazing. I do love that. Hats off to everyone over at the Scream. You guys did great. I do love that you threw a bunch of horror homage and nods to numerous people in the industry. I seen it. Definitely did. Now I'm going to tell you the character that I truly fell in love with. And it's not the character that you think, but I did really fall in love with Jasmine Savoy. Her character was Mindy Meeks. I loved everything about this woman. As you can see here, she is gorgeous. She was intelligent in this film. I don't know much about Mindy because this is the first time I'm actually seeing her in a film. Now, I connected with Mindy right away because she was the awesome horror nerd. Yes, women can be horror nerds, right? Down to the friggin' T. And I'm sitting there and Heavy is watching me. And he's like, you realize she's explaining you. That's kind of friggin' scary. And I was like, what do you mean? She was an awesome character. I love her wittiness. I love her demeanor, her jokes, her body language, her look. The fact that she represented women in the horror nerdom. And she did. You can't tell me she didn't. That was just awesome. I do want to say that if you made it this far into the video, you friggin' rock. You do. You really do. Thank you so much for getting into this. I know we're probably at like the 15-minute mark. Thank you. I appreciate it. Again, this is going to be a little long, but it's going to be. It's insights from me. I ramble. Now, one part that I was just like, what the fuck? I just didn't quite understand Mindy's brother's reaction and actions in this whole thing. I mean, you knew about the killer. You did not want to screw your girlfriend because you were not sure if she was the killer, but you decided to go outside and investigate. I was yelling at the screen at this point. I really was. That was one that I just didn't understand. Like, what the shit? Throughout this film, I was laughing my ass off because it still kept up with the original, with the comedy in the original. And the scenes with Tara Carpenter, the sister, the little sister, I was laughing. In the beginning of the film, we find out that she's not a fan of slashers, and she really enjoys horror films that are elevated. I don't like that term. But she likes movies that are more of political or have some type of reality meaning behind it. She's not into the bloody mess and the slashings. And I kept saying, I said, now, if you watched horror movies with slashers in them, you'd know what to do in these situations. I said that several times. I'm like, watch a real horror movie. I mean, not to say that The Babadook isn't a real horror movie. It's The Babadook. Anyways, now we're at the hospital where Tara is attacked again. She's a second attack, and she's sitting down in the actually in the wheelchair because she heard something go on in the hallway in the hospital. And instead of locking the effing door, which our hospitals here all have locks on them, instead of locking the door, she decides to get into the wheelchair and wheel her ass out the friggin' door. If you watched a slasher film, you will know, never investigate. Like, never investigate. Like, why? Why would you do that? Lock the friggin' door. That was another part that I was like, lock the door! Now, I know I'm rambling. Anyways, in closing for this film, I really, really loved it. When I watched Scream in 1996, the movie made me laugh. I found it a horror comedy more than a serious horror. And I love that because Wes has that technique that he did with Nightmare on Elm Street. Even though for me Nightmare on Elm Street is a horror comedy all the way. One was a little more serious, but his one-liners really broke up the serious parts of the horror. And that's what I loved about Scream. And that's what I love about the Scream franchise. Scream 2022 had me laughing, and I had the same feelings. It brought back that nostalgia from 1996 where we see Scream for the first time. And Scream broke boundaries in the horror industry for itself. Now, if you're a fan of the horror or the franchise and you've been holding off to see this film because you just don't want to ruin things for you, stop, go and watch it. I can almost guarantee you will enjoy the shit out of this film. They did a really good job on it. There is so much in this film that I'm going to tell you, you need to watch it a few times so you can actually collect everything that you're seeing in this film. I will be watching it a second time and probably a third time. Now, as for my favorite film in the franchise, I will have to say Scream 1996 and Scream 2022. Yes. The rest of the franchise, it fell a bit short for me. There were some things I really didn't care for. It's not a horrible franchise. It's not the most convoluted franchise out there. It just wasn't the best franchise for me. Now, my favorite characters from the Scream franchise. Scream 1996, Billy Loomis, played by Skeet Ulrich, and Dewey. I have always been a fangirl of Dewey. David Arquette. I mean, seriously, who and what is not to love about that man? Seriously. Oh, and if you've made it this far in my video, we're probably going on the 20-minute mark. Fuck, dude, you are awesome. Seriously, thank you. It's you people like you who watch all the way through that help this channel grow. Yeah, okay, watching the first 5 minutes of my video, that's awesome. But if you got this fucking far, it's because of you. This channel is doing so well. So thank you so very much for that. Really, thank you. Now, I'm almost tempted to do a whole Scream franchise review in the future, like give you my thoughts, not this long of a video, but give you quick insights and thoughts and actually rate the Scream franchise. Are you guys interested in something like that? Let me know down below in the comments. I do need to have some extra special shout outs, aka Zombie Guts. This lovely human being has been with me for years. She has been cheering in my corner, supporting me and the Horde. Zombie Guts, I love your guts. You are an amazing soul. I do hope that everything health-wise gets better for you. I'm rooting for you in your corner as well. Deadwalk, thank you for everything. The reason why Coffee Chat of Horror's official coffee is named Wake the Dead is because this friggin' awesome, amazing human being came up with the name. I'm still gonna gush over you about it because I'm thankful for that, because it's a kick-ass name and the coffee is pretty kick-ass itself. Oh, but anyways, ghouls, this Sunday, we're gonna be doing Coffee Chat of Horrors. We're speaking with Layla, horror author, writer, artist, critic. Make sure you come back here or look down below or right there. You can click on it and get a reminder. But anyways, I hear the zombies, they're I think they came out of their graves again. These sons of bitches keep making my backyard all messy. I think they're getting hungry, and I think I hear them trying to eat the neighbor next door. Do I care? Not really, but it's against the law, and I don't really need the popo to come here and take away my zombies, and then God knows. Anyways, if you love this video and you enjoyed it, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give us a like. Let us know down below in the comments. Share the crap out of this. Definitely share the crap out of this. Until next time, my creepies, creep it real. Yes, creep it real. And I will slash us all later. Bye-bye. Want more of your Scream Queen? Of course you do. Who doesn't? Please make sure to check out my other horror-related content down below. And if you want to become part of the undead and hang out with me outside in my cemetery, make sure to become a Patreon member. Check it out right there. Or one of the ghouls here on YouTube by clicking on the join button down below. And if you are craving more of the dark, macabre content that I create, make sure to check out my Instagram. And if you want to rock out with your no, but if you want to rock out in some awesome horror gear, make sure to check out my merch store right there. Until next time, my creepies, I will slash you later. Keep it real. Bye-bye.